two young girls went out on their bikes to the park one afternoon and never returned. What followed was a series of events so shocking and hard to believe, it could have come straight out of a crime thriller. As the investigation progressed, the mystery only deepened, until finally everything unraveled into one unexpected truth. Laura Hobbs was born on September 25, 1996 in Texas. She later became the older sister to three brothers, but not long after, her parents separated. Her mother moved the children to Zion, a small town in Illinois, where Laura quickly adapted, enjoying life near her maternal grandparents in the nearby Lake Michigan. In spring 2005, when Laura was just 8 years old, her father decided to rejoin the family and move to Zion from Texas. On Sunday, May 8th, Mother's Day, Laura spent a joyful afternoon with her family flying kites by the lake. Later that day, she asked to go for a bike ride with her best friend, 9-year-old Crystal. The two girls were inseparable since Laura had moved to Zion, living close by, attending the same school, and spending most of their free time together. That afternoon, around 3 p.m., the girls left for the park, just a few hundred yards from their homes. It was a familiar, safe place, and their parents weren't too concerned until hours passed and the girls didn't return. By 7 p.m., their worried parents went to the park to look for them. They found nothing. Panic quickly spread, and friends and neighbors joined the search. By 9 p.m., with no sign of the girls, the families called the police. The authorities launched a full-scale search, bringing in dogs, volunteers, and canvassing the neighborhood. Other kids confirmed seeing Laura and Crystal heading to the park. Flyers were distributed, and the entire town joined the effort. But as night turned into morning, still no trace of the girls was found. Around 6 a.m., Laura's grandfather and father, refusing to stop searching, split up to cover more ground. Suddenly, Laura's grandfather heard a cry. Rushing toward it, he found Laura's father standing in shock. He had discovered the bodies of the two girls hidden in thick brush just off the bike path. They had brutally stabbed Laura with 20 wounds, Crystal with 11. The town was horrified. A crime like this was unimaginable in such a quiet community. Suspicion quickly turned to Laura's father, Jerry, especially because he found the bodies where searchers had already been. Digging into his past, investigators uncovered a troubling criminal record. Years earlier, he had assaulted people during an argument, once chasing men with a chainsaw. He had just been released from prison a few weeks before the murders. Though there was no direct evidence, police brought Jerry in for questioning. Over 20 intense hours, he went from denying involvement to making a full confession. He claimed he had gone to the park, confronted the girls, and tried to take Laura home. She resisted, and Crystal supposedly pulled a knife. In a rage, Jerry said he grabbed the knife and stabbed both girls, then left their bodies and later found them to mislead police. He signed a confession and repeated the story on camera. The families were devastated. It seemed unthinkable that Laura's own father could be the killer, but soon, doubts emerged. Jerry's lawyer argued that the confession was coerced, made after days without sleep, under emotional duress, and through manipulative police tactics. Jerry claimed officers fed him the story, promising rest if he just confessed. Despite retracting his statement, Jerry was charged and faced the death penalty. The case dragged on for years. Then came a stunning twist. His lawyer pushed for forensic testing of unexamined evidence. When finally tested in 2008, the results revealed foreign male DNA on Laura's body under her fingernails, on her clothes, and in several other areas. None of it matched Jerry. The evidence showed Laura had been sexually assaulted and pointed to a different suspect entirely. While no foreign DNA was found on Crystal, it was clear both girls had been attacked by the same person. Jerry's lawyer quickly demanded his client's release and the dismissal of all charges once new DNA evidence emerged. But the district prosecutor wasn't having it. He dismissed the findings, claiming the foreign DNA on Laura's body could have been a coincidence, possibly left by another couple who had used the park for intimacy. Even though DNA was found inside the victim, the prosecutor still stood firm. As a result, Jerry remained in jail, awaiting trial. The lawyer managed to submit the DNA sample to the FBI's database, but there were no matches. All they could do was wait and hope the real killer would be identified, because the prosecution wasn't interested in pursuing the truth. Fast forward 4 years. In Arlington, Virginia, a 20-year-old woman named Amanda Snell was serving in the military and volunteering at a nearby church, helping kids with autism. She dreamed of becoming a special education teacher once her service ended. On July 13, 2009, Amanda failed to report for duty. Concerned, her fellow service members checked her room. It was spotless, but Amanda was gone. Then they opened the closet and made a horrifying discovery. Amanda's lifeless body lay inside with a pillowcase over her head. At first, the cause of death was unclear, but later it was ruled suffocation. She hadn't been sexually assaulted. Her laptop and tablet were missing, and there was a man's shoe print near the closet, but no leads. Some speculated it was an accident, since Amanda had severe migraines and sometimes covered her head with a pillowcase. Still, detectives kept investigating. In February 2010, another woman in Arlington was approached by a man with a gun who tried to force her into his car. She escaped by throwing her purse and running. She remembered the man's face in his beige Dodge Durango. Police created a composite sketch. Just 2 weeks later, 2 more women were attacked. A man forced his way into their home, tied them up, and kidnapped one of them. He raped and nearly killed her, leaving her in the snow. The victims all identified him without hesitation. He had never even tried to hide his face. Though he was arrested for the string of assaults, there was no direct evidence linking him to Amanda's murder. So detectives placed an informant in his cell wearing a wire. Within a week, Torres began bragging about Amanda's murder in detail. He claimed he did it just for the thrill. He said he cleaned her room to hide evidence, but unknowingly left behind a key clue. During the assault, he used contraception and later made her bed, but forgot to remove the mattress pad. On it, investigators found a tiny amount of semen. It was a perfect DNA match. Torres also mentioned a pair of Nike sneakers he kept in his car, matching the print near Amanda's closet. That sealed it. He was formally charged with Amanda's murder. His DNA was uploaded to the FBI database. Back in Zion, a stunning development occurred. Torres's DNA matched the semen found on Laura's body. Even more shocking, Torres had grown up in Zion and was friends with the brother of another murdered girl, Crystal. He had known both victims. At the time, he was just 16 and never suspected. Police had focused solely on Laura's father, Jerry, who had now spent 5 years in prison. Sadly, none of the officers who forced Jerry's confession faced any consequences. Jerry's story is a haunting reminder of what happens when investigators focus on the wrong suspect. In doing so, they allowed a serial predator to remain free and harm others, and that's just what we know about. If you found this story shocking, tell us what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means everything. Thanks for watching.